Alistair, we can only talk, when I say we, Darren and myself, talk from an Australian point of view. But between 1950 and 1970, our country boomed with impeccable growth with a very high living standard. Today, it is not the case, with high taxes and home ownership going backwards. Back then, we were under a gold standard, and today, we are not. Why is it so hard for politicians to envisage a gold standard again?
I think much of the answer or the blame for this is in macroeconomic theory. And macroeconomic theory was basically, if you like, the invention of John Maynard Keynes. In his book, the theory, his general theory, which was published in 1936, was the root, if you like, of the idea that governments can intervene in an economy when the private sector is no longer creating credit. Then governments step up to the plate with deficit spending in order to stimulate the economy. And Keynes's original idea was, and of course, as the economy recovers, then the budget deficits would disappear and be replaced by budget surplus, so that over the cycle, you would have, the situation would even out. But of course, this is naive. I mean, governments, given the freedom to spend, will spend and spend and spend. And indeed, in post-war years under the Bretton Woods system, this is precisely what America did. Prices were given stability by the fact that there was a gold standard of sorts in place. But the expense, if you like, of the stimulation that the US government did in terms of increasing the quantity of currency in particular was the loss of gold reserves. And it got to the point where when the gold reserves effectively ran too low to be for any exchange of dollars for gold to be sustained, they then had to suspend the Bretton Woods system. It was then that price rises were unleashed. We had very inflationary conditions in the 1970s, call it a period of adjustment, I suppose, until Volcker raised US interest rates in 1980 and 81 to extremely high levels, 19%, something like that. And that, if you like, stabilized the fiat currency system relative to gold. They then embarked, if you like, on a program of discrediting gold and trying to replace gold with the dollar. And that was just pure propaganda. We've had 54 years of it now. And this is being found out now. As I said in another interview, central banks they've woken up to it and they're buying gold. What are they doing? They're actually selling credit. They're getting out of dollars and other currencies, but particularly the dollar. So we are now in the position where falling purchasing power of currencies are going to be the big problem following on from current times. And the idea that there is any economic performance, recovery, or whatever, or progress under those circumstances is entirely limited. Some industries will do okay, they always do. But in the main, we are all going to suffer. So the glory days of the 1950s to the 1970s, we're not going to see those again until they stabilize the value of currencies. And they can only do that by bringing back credible gold standards so that the currencies operate as a gold substitute.
Yeah. It's either you go to the clearest way of knowing how many dollars they're printing if you go to the supermarket, isn't it? They are just the price of goods. So they either increase the price of goods, which is the amount of money they're printing, or they de-size the product that you're buying.
Either way.
Either way, it is inflationary.
Yeah.